Welcome, Jason, to the podcast. Last time we spoke, you were in Dubai. You had a little trip out to Dubai. Can
Yeah,
you just talk a little bit about that? How
yeah,
like the
for sure,
journey?
man. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast on the show. Dubai is just one of those places, man. It's like you see it online all the time, and it's just like it's it looks amazing online. I want to say is it's 10 times better when you actually go in person. It's just everyone's always on the grind. Really, it's like everyone just drives so fast because they just got stuff to do. You know what I mean? I think everyone in Dubai has a purpose. You know what I mean? They're either there they're an entrepreneur and they're making money with their business, or they're working a full-time job. There's always something going on. There's always so much construction going on as well. It's just, I think it's one of those places where if you're trying to, obviously if you're trying to start an online business, Dubai probably isn't the place to be just because of how
Mm.
expensive it can be. But once you get to a certain stage, it's definitely a place where if you just sort of surround yourself around that caliber of people, you'll make a lot more money. You know what I mean? Like even being out there for a few weeks, it was like I already made a decent amount of connections, met a lot of cool people, seen a lot of fast cars. I've never seen a Bugatti in my life, and I seen like six of them
You
in
saw a
2 weeks.
Bugatti
It was like,
first.
yeah, I seen like six of them out there. It was crazy. Yeah.
Uh, Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know, this is Jason McElchar, and he is the founder of Growth Rate, a SaaS company, and also he started the Start Your SaaS program, which is an online course where you can learn to start a business in 30 days.
Correct. Yeah. So Growth Rate is a software platform. It is, if you're not familiar with High Level, like if anyone is not familiar with High Level watching this, High Level allow you to white label their software. You can put your own logo on it and go out and sell it to businesses. That is one side of the business. That's the Growth Rate part that you talked about, where I can build and host websites for clients, do email marketing, SMS marketing, reputation management and stuff. The Start Your SaaS program, it's more than a course. It's like a full one-to-one mentorship program where you got the course, you got a community, we do weekly calls, any support that sort of the people need to hit their first, whether 5K a month or 10K a month online with SaaS. It's pretty much all in there. You know what I mean? I think just having a community there, and it's all mainly people here in Europe, and yeah, there's a few people in America and all around the world and stuff like that. But having a community that is like mainly people that is close to you, that's what makes the difference. You know what I mean? For the majority of the people in there,
It gives you a network, and you're able to reach out to
Yeah,
people.
correct. Because I think like a lot of people, especially here in Ireland and the UK and stuff, it's like there's no one really around you that is actually trying to make it work. You know what I mean? There's obviously people around you that's trying to do stuff, but you don't actually find those people because so many people are just doing it low key. They're
Yeah,
not posting content, they're not putting it out there, they're just trying something and you don't know about it
yeah,
until you sort of join a community and you start meeting people. You start meeting people that live like 30 minutes away from you, and you're like, holy shit.
we're
You know,
grinding. Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
and trying to level up as well, because
That's what it's all about. Yeah, it's just trying to level up obviously your finances, get the money up and everything, but you gotta get as fit as possible to get everything in
yeah,
order. You know what I mean? That's the best part.
you need to have across the board. You have to have a certain level.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so how did you get into SaaS?
So before SaaS, I ran an SMMA. It was a social media marketing agency. I was providing content creation for car dealerships all across the UK and Ireland, and it was one of those business models where it was good. Had a few clients here and there. Profit margins were pretty good for a business. You're talking like 60-70% for an SMMA. You compare that to other traditional businesses out there like dropshipping, e-commerce and stuff. You're talking like 20-30% profit margins maybe, which it is what it is, you know what I mean? But then I found SaaS online, and I literally just jumped straight into selling reputation management to the hotels and the restaurants, like sort of around me in my local area and stuff like that. And that's where I found the actual success initially was SaaS, you know what I mean? Found High Level, white labeled it, put my logo on there, and I just started selling.
Good stuff. And so you started this while you were in college. Is that correct? Yes.
Correct. Yeah. I started the SMMA like a week before I started college, which I think was probably the worst time to start something, like literally as I was starting college. But you know what I mean? It worked out. You know what I mean? I never let college hold me back from, not putting the work in the evenings or not waking up early in the morning to, put the extra reps in and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people their current situations. They're either studying in college, they're in school, they're working a job, and they use that as an excuse to the reason they can't start an online business. You know what I mean? You like everyone's got 24 hours in a day. You break it down, you're probably sleeping for 7 to 8 of those hours. You're probably working for, you know, another 8 of those hours, you know, if not less. You got all that empty time. You got like 15, 16 hours left where, or no, you got like 7, 8 hours left in the evening where people just aren't putting the work in, and they put it down to, you know, they're just watching Netflix, or they're just wasting their life away. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I never let that sort of get to me. Whereas I know the majority of people, they just, you know, usually because I'm working a job and, you know, I got no time. And I just think,
excuses.
How bad do you really want it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you know.
So would you say that there was there a balance between school and work and starting a business, or like when you're trying to achieve something and when you're trying to set, like when you have set a high goal and you're trying to achieve that, there's not really any balance in achieving it because you have to be full on at all times. Is that correct? So how would you manage that? How would you manage being full on all the time, and how did you manage your time well and effectively to allow you to grow your business?
I agree with that. And the only way around that, when you're in college, you're working a job, maybe not working a job, when you're in college and you don't really see a need for having your degree, you're just sort of there to, you're just sort of there. It's putting in as little, I'm just going to be honest, putting in as little work as possible, little effort as possible for college or studies, whatever. Because for me, it was like, I'm either going to make this business work or I'll fall back on the degree. You know what I mean? So if you can just do the bare minimum to pass your classes and get through it and stuff like that, then the vast majority of your time can be, you know, getting the business, getting the needle moving forward.
Are you out of college now? You're done. You're not in college anymore.
I still am. Yeah, I'm still in
You
college.
are.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, still in college. I think, you know, I'm this far in, I might as well just finish it out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in computer science. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Jason?
In 5 years from now, I definitely want to be, you know what I mean? I think it's just so the way I look at goals is just trying to, whatever you've changed in the last year, it's about multiplying that by 5 or by 10 or whatever. Obviously, it really starts to compound. It's making a shit ton more money online and getting in way better shape, meeting high quality people around you that are only want the best for you and stuff like that. I never, like, I've been asked before, what's your goal in 5 or 10 years from now? I don't have like a monetary goal for 5 or 10 years from now, because I think it can really, really take off very fast. So, you know what I mean? I just don't like putting a number on that. I'm like, if I just wake up, put in the reps every single morning, you know, start leveraging by, you know, producing content, jumping on podcasts like these, getting as much, you know, content out there as possible. I think there's no real cap on it. It's just a matter of putting the work in every single day, and we'll see where we are in 5 years from now. You know what I mean?
Put the work in and let the work speak for itself. And
yeah, correct. Yeah.
What is something about money that most people typically don't know?
Something that people don't know about money is that it already exists on your phone. You just need to go out and ask for it. And what I mean by that is, so let's just say you are producing content online, or you have people in your contact book on your phone. If you're producing content, let's just say it is about, like, you know, running a SaaS business or running a coaching business for, you know, triathletes, for example, right? You got a following base because they like you for posting the content and informing them and, you know, being funny online and stuff like that. People don't know you have anything to sell unless you pitch them something, you know what I mean? So if you literally sat down tonight, if you started something, you sat down tonight, pull up your Instagram followers and DM'd every single one of those followers, doesn't matter what you're selling, you're guaranteed to make sales, you know what I mean? So I think, like, the money is already there. It already exists. It's already in these people's pockets and these people's bank accounts. You just need to go out and find it and politely ask for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And people don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. And so money already exists.
It already exists. It's already all out there. Obviously, they're printing more as the days go by and stuff like that. But You know what I mean? You only need a small share of the amount of money in the world, so you might as well
True.
just go out and start asking. You know what I mean?
True.
You know,
What is the highest return on investment or ROI activity that you do on a daily basis?
producing content for sure. Producing content because you think like obviously like the small things like going to the gym and stuff like that. But they're really small compound effects. Same as content, it is it compounds over time and stuff like that. But the best ROI, the best leverage is definitely recording content. Whether you're going to sit down in front of a camera and talk about a business, or you're going to jump on podcasts like these. You know what I mean? Like this can be clipped up and this can be put on TikTok or this can be put on Instagram, and it can be like redistributed so many times and rake in thousands and thousands of views, even though we've had this conversation once. Like we're doing this conversation in real time. We're talking about this once. We're only ever going to say these exact words once, but unlimited people can see it. You know what I mean?
And it's that's all to do with leverage, right? And I don't know, have you read the book, the Almanac of Naval Ravikant?
No, I haven't. No, I remember Alex Slinsky in our in one of our weekly calls. He recommended that.
Yeah, I read it, and it is really good. And he breaks down leverage into 4 different sectors, and it's code, capital, content, and there's another one. It's like labor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, labor.
Okay.
So
that's true. Yeah.
Oh, it was collaboration. Code,
So
content, capital, and collaboration. And so I would say you're pretty leveraged. Like, and the idea he shares in that is that you can make a lot of money if you input those types of, even just one type of that leverage into your business. And I think you're doing well because you have.
I mean, we're doing 2 of them right now. We're collaborating.
Yeah.
And we're doing content, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Obviously, I got the code for the SAAS, and then capital, investing in paid ads and stuff like that. I literally do all 4 of those, and that's why I think, you know what I mean? I get out there as much as I do, and I get in front of as many eyeballs, and I get people interested in what I'm doing, and I'm able to help out as much people as I can.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And to that degree, is manifestation real?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think the best book that you can read on this is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You probably knew I was going to say that anyways. I think like you write down your goals and stuff like that. I didn't actually realize how real it was until recently. I had written down a goal that I had 2 years ago. If anyone's been through the book, you'll know that you set like a 1-year goal, and then a 2-year goal and a 5-year goal. You write it down, you say it to yourself pretty much every morning. I haven't said it to myself in a while just because to me, it just sort of got a bit repetitive. I knew it was always in my mind anyway. It was always in my mind. Okay, I got to hit this, got to hit this, got to hit this. Every morning I wake up, every evening, I say it to myself, whatever. I realized just a month ago, just as the new year was beginning, the goal that I had set myself 3 years ago, I had literally hit it like that month. Like the goal that I had given myself for the new year, I had just hit it that month. That's crazy. You know what I mean? I think like you got to become obsessed with this. You got to become obsessed with winning and getting yourself out there and just putting in the work. And you know what I mean? Because it's so easy to find. I know people say like, motivation isn't real, which I do agree. It's just all about discipline and putting the effort in and stuff like that. But I do think that things like TikTok can be used to motivate you. Not obviously sitting down and scrolling your life away and stuff like that, but you go on TikTok now, and if you're on the same side of TikTok that I'm on, where you on your For You page and stuff, it's all Lamborghinis and Bugattis and people in Dubai and just living that kind of lifestyle that guys like us are, trying to achieve. You know what I mean? So, exactly. So that in itself is enough motivation. But I also think a lot of guys get put off by that as well. You know what I mean? They see people in these cars and they're not making any money online, so then they just
they think they can't do it.
They think they can't do it just because it's like such a massive goal. But it's like, you know what I mean? People really underestimate what you can do in 2 years. You know what I mean? Even 6 months.
You can change your life in 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely
change your life, and it starts with a change of environment.
That is true. Yeah, and that was one of the big things that I noticed when I was in Dubai. It was like, it's just completely different to home. Not only do you feel safe no matter where you go, you don't have to like look behind you or make sure that there's no one following you or any of that kind of stuff. But it's just like like I said at the start of this, everyone is out there and they have a purpose and they're trying to make money online and they're trying to start these businesses and they're all in real estate and they're driving these cars. It's like,
Yeah,
how can you not feel motivated when you're around that type of person? You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
What, so for you, Dubai is a big trip. Dubai, like getting to Dubai as like a starting your own business, like that's a big deal. And that must be something you're very, very proud of. But what would be the proudest moment of your life so far?
Of my life? Shit, I've never thought about this ever. Um, if I had to put it down to two things in terms of monetary, like if it was a monetary proudness, I think the proudest one was at the very start. My first ever client, it was for content creation for a car dealership. It was more of like, it wasn't really like an agency like thing where they're, I was charging them every single month. It was more like a freelancing where they were just paying for content. They were paying £12.50 for like an infographic. And I remember signing that thing and I was like, holy shit. I remember going down to my mom and I was like, look at this. And she was like, you just couldn't believe it, because I think that's the biggest hurdle when it comes to online business is that initial sale, because I understand why people think so many things online are scams and they don't work and they don't actually exist and people aren't living this lifestyle and stuff. It's because they haven't actually experienced making any money online. So the biggest one is just trying to get that initial, money made, whether that's £12.50 or that's your first £100 sale or your first, 1,000 or whatever. I think that's like the biggest hurdle, and that was a really proud moment for me, because it was then when the flip sort of switched and I was like, right, okay, this shit works now. I gotta go all in. The second one then I say would be my first 10K months for sure. It was one of those things. I think it's really, I don't know the word to explain this, but I think it's, 10K a month is that goal that everyone obviously sets out for themselves when they start an online business. Once you hit it, once you add up the numbers for the months and you hit it and you're like, holy shit, this is kind of cool. But the feeling just sort of goes away after, 5-10 minutes. It's just like, right, I need, I gotta keep going.
Get back to work.
Get back to work. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So the first 10K months going down and, obviously tell my parents, and they're like, holy shit. And then obviously, we all went out for food and had a nice meal and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think if I had to put it down to two sort of monetary proud moments, it's definitely, the first client, first £12.50 and the first 10K month for sure.
Yeah, that must be a good feeling, mate.
Yeah.
So in getting set up, I know that what you sell to customers is kind of already built out and you just have to learn it. However, do you think that to get things done, you have to go fast in business, or do you think it's better to go a little bit slower and perfect what you're doing?
I definitely don't think you should go slow and perfect things, because you perfect things later as you go on. You need to push out as much stuff as fast as you physically can, because once you start picking up that sort of, once the ball's rolling and stuff, there's no time to slow down and try and perfect things. It's just about starting and trying to get the needle moving as fast as possible. Whether, the needle's moving as fast as possible and you're not doing all the right things, if you're just doing as many things, and eventually they will start becoming they will be the right things and you will start hitting the targets and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Definitely don't think anyone should go slow. And the people that do go slow, what I notice when I'm, actually people are going through the program and stuff, people that go slow and they're, oh, I'll set up high level tomorrow night or blah, blah, blah. Those people do not make it work. Those people just quit. Those people are quitters. Whereas like the best person that can possibly come through the program is someone that, okay, I'm signed up. What do I got to do? I'm like, okay, white label software. Boom, 10 minutes later. Okay, DNS records added. Logo updated. What do I got to do now? Okay, get your website. 30 minutes later, domains all connected to the website. What do I got to do now? Build out some automations. Okay, 30 minutes later, done. Boom. Start doing outreach. You know what I mean? I think if you can get the entire initial setup for high level done in your first day, that's like, there's a correlation between that and the people that find success and actually get clients. Whereas like people that, 1 week later you text them or they're like, okay, yeah, I haven't even logged into the course yet. It's like, what is the point in doing anything? You know what I mean? What can be more important then, trying to make this work, you know what I mean? Trying to because everyone obviously sets out these goals, like I was saying about 10K a month and stuff like that. You're not going to hit it if you're going slow. So it's just trying to go as fast as possible, but trying to figure out the right things to do while you're going as fast as possible. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. You need speed is very important.
Yeah, correct.
Very,
Yeah,
speed
100%.
is very important. So in the delivery of software, what is the most important part? What do you like? Is it making sure there's no bugs? Is it being able to get your customers on the interface faster? What do you focus on?
The most important part is the onboarding and trying to actually get people in the software itself. So if you can have a swift onboarding and you can, add their DNS records to their domain, so they're able to connect to a website and start sending emails, the onboarding is definitely the most important, because if you know what I mean, you could sell it to people, and if your own company is taking quite a while to do the onboarding, then you know what I mean, it just sort of looks bad and just sort of slows down the momentum and stuff like that. So if you have a good onboarding process and you're up and running, get people in, and then the hardest part, then not the hardest part, but the most important part then after that is getting people logged into the software. So actually into the CRM and adding their customers and their leads in there, and asking, how does this work? Like, I love it when people come to me and ask about a certain feature within the software, because the way I see it is you're actually putting effort in and you're trying to learn how it works, because you do want to keep using the software and you're trying to figure out as much as possible. Where I think, like, if you're to sign up for software and I don't hear from you for the entire month, you're just probably going to cancel the software because you haven't made any effort and you haven't used it at all. So why would you pay for something you haven't used?
So how far do you plan on scaling growth rate?
That's a good question. I've never actually thought about where I want to, so in terms of like overall or end of year.
Well, like, is there a point that you would say, I'm gonna, I kind of want to do something else, or are you primarily focused on trying to make this what is going to be your successful business for the rest of your entrepreneurial career?
Yeah, I do think, like, when you're doing something, you can't really be thinking about outside, other things. You know what I mean? You got to get it to a point where eventually it'll come to a point where, like, okay, this is making me X amount of months consistently. I do not need to be in the business. I do not need to be showing up every day. Let me try something else. You know what I mean? I think, like, obviously money's a tool, and I don't really know if I put it down to a number when I've, where I want to scale to. It's just a matter of, can I go here whenever I want, which I already can do. You know, I can travel wherever I want. I can technically do whatever I want. But for now, it's just trying to get it a lot more, get it scaled up a bit more. So then there's no stress, you know what I mean? Obviously, no matter what stage you're at in life, you're always going to be, stressing about trying to get it up here and up here, but in case you lose X amount of clients or in case something happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for now, we'll just take it by day, and we'll just keep going, and we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see by the end of the year where we're at, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, I do whatever I want. I can travel wherever I want. I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you at a point where you could get some people into the business and you could leave it and it would still grow?
Yeah, definitely. Like, in terms of even my content that I put out online, like, I got an editor for that. All I really need then is maybe an appointment setter to deal with DMs, a closer for taking sales calls, and that's really it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, you know what I mean? Like, the coaching is one of those things where I don't really look at that like it's a business or it's like work, because I'm always on my phone anyway.
Yeah.
What is an extra few messages?
Yeah.
You know,
to help someone else achieve something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm technically, if you put it down to that, I'm always working. You know what I mean? Like, when people ask, like, oh, what hours do you work and stuff like that, you never truly switch off when it comes to online business, because you could be sitting Saturday night at 2 a.m. You might be just finishing up for the evening, and then you just sit down and start doing more. You just pull out your phone, you start doing outreach. You know what I mean? And I think you never truly switch off, because people reply at different times. You're always glued, and you're always tuned into what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Do you have employees at Growth Rate yet?
No, just no.
It's just yourself.
Just myself, and then in terms of my content, it's just a video editor, and That's it, bro. That's it.
Do you plan on having employees or not? Really?
I think eventually once it gets to a stage, I'll probably will need employees. You know what I mean? Like for obviously taking the sales calls and stuff like that, because you don't want to be that involved in the business all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for now, it's just me, and I'm happy with that. It's growing consistently. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I don't really look at it like it's work at this point. You know what I mean? Just because it's just what I do every single day, and there's, you know what I mean? I never have a day off ever.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Just because it's like, it's not really like it's not that difficult of work. It's just, I'm always working on it. I'm always on my phone. So,
Yeah.
you know,
You're always doing it. Always
yeah. Right. Yeah.
What character traits? I know this might be a cliche question, but what character traits are required for success?
I think it's one. I can't really put this down to like individual words, but I'd say the first one would be being able to actually hold a conversation with someone. You would be surprised. Actually, no, you probably wouldn't be surprised, because you know everyone's got TikTok brain these days. But like, people cannot hold a conversation these days with people. They just can't. You know what I mean? Unless it's obviously you jump on calls and it's like people are so dry and they don't even know how to, like, you know what I mean? You ask them a question and they just give you one word answers, and they don't ask anything back, and it's just like, it's just a drag. You know what I mean? So I think if you can hold a conversation with someone and you have actual common sense, then you can make something work. You know what I mean? You can literally do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like it's dealing with people that can't even hold a conversation or don't have common sense. It's the most annoying shit ever. And then the other thing, then it's all really down to discipline. You know what I mean?
So
You know,
really,
like reading and just putting the work in every single day. That's always what it's down to.
Yeah, no days off. So I would just say that, like, I would kind of summarize that and say that, in your opinion, that in order to be successful, you must have discipline and you must have the ability to communicate effectively.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
awesome.
Correct. Yeah, that's it.
So I know perhaps you're not exactly where you want to be on a financial terms, because you know there's always more to achieve. There's more to get after.
Yeah.
But do you have financial freedom?
Yeah, I'd say I do. Obviously, I can't go out, you know, buying Lamborghinis and buying Bugattis and buying yachts and stuff like that yet. But if I wanted to go anywhere in the world tomorrow, I can do it. You know what I mean? I can literally just go book tickets and go, and I'd still be making that money online. You know what I mean? Because it's the online business and the coaching. You know what I mean? Like, I could be, like, for example, when I was in the plane, I obviously hopped on the plane Wi-Fi, and I was still able to be on my phone and reply to the guys in the community that are, you know, need some help or whatever like that. You know what I mean? So you're still able to work even if you're like 30 whatever thousand foot in the sky. You know what I mean? You know,
it doesn't stop. Huh?
It doesn't stop. No, it doesn't stop. Money never sleeps.
Money never sleeps.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Money's always moving.
Yeah,
and you know, if you want to have any success in anything, you have to. I mean, money is just like water. You know, like it flows, and if you want to be able to have access to it, you need to be able to flow like water. You need to become water.
Yeah,
you know, you have to be able to. Because if water is stagnant, it becomes like a swamp. It stinks. And it's not drinkable. It's not good. And I think there's a lot of people who need to start moving. You know,
start moving like water. Yeah, start flowing.
So you can get your flow and you can get the cash flow. You know.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah.
This is the last like official question to have any structure, but I'll keep going for a while after that. But are you happy?
Genuinely? Yeah, I'd say I am. I think like I'm surrounded by people I love, people that are important to me. I'm able to make money online. I'm able to go out and hit the gym and have fun with the people around me. I say, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'd never really thought about like sadness or any of that shit for like so fucking long, because I think once you have a goal in mind and there's no other option, you don't have time to be thinking about negative things. You just don't
Absolutely.
even have the time because, you know what I mean? It's like going back to the manifestation thing. You attract what you think about. Obviously, you need to be taking action, stuff like that. But if you're sitting, lying in bed all day and you're depressed about some shit, it's just going to literally, you're just going to fall into a deep dark hole. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Whereas like you wake up with a purpose and you're like, okay, I got to do this and I got to do this. I got to do this.
Yeah.
You're going to be happy because you're hitting your goals and you're surrounded by the people that really matter. And
Mhm.
I'm happy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Precisely. Like, as I just said, it's kind of like if you just lie in bed all day and do nothing with your time, even though you have at least 8 extra hours, even if you work a full-time job and sleep the
Hmm.
correct amount, even if you do that, you just become a swamp troll if you just lie in bed,
Yeah.
you know, and
Exactly.
you can't talk. And to to what degree do you think thinking is very important? A lot of people don't think. But do you believe that thinking is very powerful in like kind of setting up your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, like again, it goes back to the whole manifestation thing. If you're thinking positive things and you're thinking about good vibes and Lamborghinis and shit like that, then you're going to get happy because you're going to be thinking about, you know what I mean? Like you create a problem and then you find the solution. You know what I mean? So yeah, 100%. You obviously gotta be thinking all the time. You gotta be thinking, okay, how can I do this? And how can I get this, how can I get X amount of views? And how can I reach out to this amount of people today? And, how many people can I help this week? And yeah, you always gotta be thinking them things because if you don't and you start slowing down, then you're just going to start going down. You know what I mean? Like if your business isn't growing, it's dying. You know what I mean? Because there's no
Yeah, if
such
you're not
thing as
growing
like
your time.
there's no such thing as like a sideways like movement when it comes to business. Obviously, when it comes to revenue and stuff like that, it can trade sideways for quite a while. But as long as you're doing something every single day, it's you know what I mean. It slowly is going up.
It'll
You just
pick
don't
up.
really see it. You think it's going sideways, but it is slowly going up, obviously. But the more work you put in, the higher that
Yeah.
the
And
like
it
that stuff actually is.
have you found a like business to be quite it has like a compounding effect to it. Like you see not much results, not much results, not much results, and then slowly, like it's just starting to creep up, and then eventually it's like
I
a
think that's
rocket.
everything in life, though, isn't it? It's like, you start a SaaS business and the initial setup, you're like, okay, this shit better be worth it. And you're trying to learn how high level works. You're trying to learn how to sell reputation management. And you're trying to learn how to set up websites and stuff like that. And you're reaching out to your first few clients and everyone's saying no. And you're like, is this really going to work? Is this really going to work? Once you reach out to enough amount of people, you eventually meet leads that are like, I don't need this, but I know someone else that needs this. And then you
Yeah,
start making the connections and stuff like that. Same
and
as going to the
affiliates.
gym. You know what I mean? You can go to the gym for a day, go to the gym for a week, you go to the gym for a month, 6 months. You're not going to find that much different, but it's like those 3, 4, 5 years you're there. You know what I mean? You're massive, and everyone's like, "How the fuck can I do that? This guy's on gear, whatever." You know what I mean? This guy's still on steroids, but it's just all compounding effects. You know what I mean?
Everything compounds.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any relationships like with yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
You have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
How long have you been together for?
Coming up to 3 years. Coming up to
Three
3 years.
years.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
she's been through it all.
Yeah, yeah. Literally, like back when I was before even like back in the day, I wanted to be a rapper. Like no one, I've never said this anywhere. So yeah, you're probably the first ones outside of family to hear this. But back in the day, I wanted to get into the music scene, and then yeah, I think it was one of those things. Obviously, people can find success in music and stuff, but I wanted to find something that, as long as you put the work in, it's guaranteed. You know, because obviously there's a lot of luck in this stuff as well, but there's even more luck when it comes to music. Getting record labels and blowing up or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But I found the business. I was like, right, if I can just put this amount of work in every single day, eventually I'm going to start making money and I'm going to start signing clients and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you don't hear about the music artists that have been putting a lot of work in every day for the last 5 years. You know what I mean? They didn't get their break, whatever. So I think business was just not the safest option, but it was the most guaranteed way of getting to where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's seen all of that. She's been through all of that,
Yeah.
you know.
I've never asked you that, so I was just
Yeah,
curious.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good stuff. So, like, I mean, you must have been quite busy during college. Like, were you working at the same time at the
I
beginning of college or no?
yes, I was stacking shelves in a store called Home Bargains. Yeah,
Oh my,
I was stacking shelves for £7.55 an hour. Yeah.
£7.55 an hour. What's that in a month? That's like 2,000 a month.
I mean, it wasn't even a long contract because I was in college. It was an 8-hour contract. So, you know what I mean? If you do some math out, I remember getting like £60 a week. So 7.55 by 8, 60.4, multiply that by 4, and you're making like £240 a month.
So
You know what I mean?
living story right here of essentially rags to riches.
Yeah.
£240 a month to over 10. You smashed 10, didn't you? You smashed 10.
Yeah, nearly 20. Yeah,
Nearly
yeah,
20.
20K. Yeah, 20K pretty much. Yeah.
All right, I want this to be a reminder to all the viewers. 3 years, you can absolutely change your existence. You can change your life. And that needs to be a reminder to people. If you put in the hours and you are dedicated to one single thing, you will see success in.
For sure. Yeah, even less than 3 years, like being in the whole, like that was obviously when I was doing SMA and stuff like that, wasn't, you know what I mean, was doing okay. It's really been the SAAS, which is where I found success over the last year and a half to 2 years, to be honest. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can, you know what I mean? Like look at your life today, look at the calendar 1 year from now, and you need to figure out where you want to be. And then after that, you need to figure out what you need to do to get to where you want to be, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So with college, how many hours are you like typically putting towards that a day?
Outside of college or while being in there?
No, like for college, how many hours are you putting towards your education in college?
Zero, to be
Zero.
honest. Yeah, I don't really do anything at all. I'd say there's probably people watching this like that is so stupid, what the fuck? But it's like I am just doing too much, like other things. I don't really care about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm like, I don't need this, you know what I mean? I'm just there just to get it at this point. I only got like a few months left. So I'm like, right, whatever. But then obviously when it comes up to exam time and stuff like that, you might spend like an hour looking over stuff the night before. That's really it. You know what I mean? It's yeah, there's no like during the year, I'm just scaling the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just growing, you know.
That's nice. Do you have any other hobbies? Like do you have any hobby outside of, gym and SAAS and well, no, SAAS isn't a hobby, but like outside of work and whatever else you're doing?
I like playing pool every now and again. Pool and snooker is I think snooker. I just think snooker is one of the best sports in the world. To be honest, I just think it's just so. I love watching that shit. Love playing that. I haven't played football in quite a while. I think whenever things started taking off, I sort of had to lower it back in terms of sports and that. Obviously, then I supplemented with running and going to the gym and stuff just to keep fit as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Like you can't have a healthy mind if you don't have a healthy body, and you can't be right in financials if you're not right.
Strong body's a strong mind. Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard this quote or if I made it up. I remember writing it down one time, and I said, where the body goes, the mind will follow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you place yourself in the right positions, like that's where you're going to continue heading it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. If you can get in the right rooms, whether that be in the gym around people that are getting fit, or around a table of guys dealing with not like a few thousand a month, guys that are dealing with millions a month, that's your, you know what I mean? It's like you're the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with. That's literally what it's down to. You know what I mean? Like you grow up and you always hear that quote and you're like, yeah, whatever. But it's like once you get a bit older and you realize that is so true, it's like you look back on even days you were in school and you were like, holy shit, what was I doing back there? Why was I hanging around with this person? Why was I doing this? Why was I doing that? Yeah. So then that just subconsciously, then that's in your mind. So you completely get rid of people that are just not worth your time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And people get quite upset by that. You know, when you remove someone who's been in your life for like an extended period of time, and you say like, no, you're not helping me. You're
Yeah,
hindering. And I want
yeah,
to help you, but if you're not willing to help yourself, you can't be on the team. And you know
yeah.
that hurts people. But if you want to succeed, it's necessary, isn't it?
It's hard. Yeah, this game's hard. I don't think it's for everybody. Definitely not for everybody in the world, but I think if you're watching content like this online and you're doing research and you're learning different business models like SaaS and SMMA and copywriting and e-commerce and stuff like that, if you've gotten that far where it interests you, then it definitely is for you, because there's so many people out there that just don't even see stuff like this online. They don't even know that you can start an online business or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think like, there's obviously only a small percentage of people in the world that can do this, but if you're watching this kind of type of content, there's no excuse. You 110% can make this work. It's just a matter of if you're willing to put the work in. You know what I mean? You know,
Absolutely, man.
you know.
Well, can I've never asked you this, and I'm actually quite interested. Like, what's your kind of childhood story? Like, what did you grow up doing? Like, what's the background in? Like,
It's very average, man. I grew up and I was in school and I was playing a ton of football. The first few years of my life, I lived at my grandparents' house, and then my parents then bought a house, lived there, playing football, all that good stuff. Just like just the way someone grows up. I had a great childhood. I don't have that story that everyone loves to hear online for some reason. I grew up and I was dirt poor and I didn't have anything and I was like scraping for food and stuff like that. Definitely wasn't like that. It 100% wasn't like that at all. I had a great childhood growing up, and then I just think that's also very important. You know what I mean? I think you can succeed no matter where you come from. You know what I mean? It's like you see people that literally had nothing, or dirt poor growing up, and they always use that in their stories to, you can find success. Whereas like there's also people like me where they don't have that story, where they're scraping by, still make it work. You know what I mean? You can, no matter where you are at in the world, no matter what color you are, what size you are, whatever, it does not matter. As long as you have the right willpower and the drive and the dedication towards something, you'll do it. You know.
absolutely. And so, if you didn't have the stereotypical need to perform in that sense, why do you think you ended up wanting to have an online business, and why did you?
I've always thought about that. Yeah, I've always thought about that. I think it's literally just down to not wanting to be average.
Yeah.
Just not wanting to be average. Like I had the idea of like working 9 to 5 and having 1 or 2 holidays a year. It was like, bro, I don't want to be tied down like that. I don't want to have another man telling me what to do, or I can only, have X amount of days off in a year. That shit is just like, that never appealed to me ever whatsoever.
That's soul crushing work.
Yeah. No matter, like, even growing up, I always just knew that I needed to figure it out and not have like 20 days off in a year. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Is it? Would you say that you have time off now, or because you said you're always working?
I'm always working, but I always technically have time off. You know what I mean? Like went to Dubai and I was still working and still time off, because you're lying at the pool and you're out and you're having nice food and you're meeting people and stuff like that. I think if you can structure your business in a way where you don't mind, you're always in your phone and you're always able to work and stuff like that, I think like every day is a holiday, because if you're not clocking into a job and you're healthy and you're happy, then I'm always have the freedom. I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean? I just so want to keep scaling this as high as I possibly can now over the next few months and few years. And eventually, maybe it might pivot down the line. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, because you're building momentum, it's always building momentum, so it's easier to let it keep going. To be honest.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
It's cool. It's good to know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I think if you don't know where you're going, then you're probably just going backwards. You know what I mean? I think no matter what stage you're at in life, you should always have a goal, whether you're working a 9 to 5 job. You know what I mean? You should always be wanting to be the best on the sales team, or be the first guy to get that promotion, or smash that record. Or if you're starting a business, you should definitely want to hit that 10K a month as soon as you possibly can, and hit that 100K a month as soon as you can. And if you're on a football team, you want to, score as many goals as you can, or, you know what I mean? I think you should. Humans are just supposed to have goals. You're supposed to wake up every single day and strive for the next thing. Because if you don't have goals, you're just going to be that person that just lays in bed all day and just be useless.
Yeah. And money follows skills. Always. It always has, it always will. Money will always follow skills. And if you are willing to go out and get those skills, you earn some money, and then you invest in yourself and you pay to acquire those skills. Like you'll never go hungry if you paid for skills. And as you said, like humans are meant to have a goal. It doesn't even need there doesn't even need to be a reason for it, But if you're working towards something, it gives you purpose, like, and you almost have to do it like you're a dog, like dogs. What's their purpose? Their purpose is to eat food, comfort us, and go on walks. Like 3 simple things. And I think to an extent, success comes down to simplicity. It's like, what is your goal? What is required to achieve it? And when are you going to make time to achieve it?
We do it. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
I think you've nailed it. I think you've nailed it pretty well. It's like you've made it pretty simple. You got it. You know exactly where you want to be. You know what you're trying to do. You know what is required of you to do it. You've got a simple goal, and you're just at it. You just work like a dog.
For sure, man. Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Exactly. Get after it. No time to be a loser.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, man. No, fuck that.
No time to be average, man.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm just gonna say thank you, everyone, for hopping on the for listening. Hope you enjoyed. This was Jason McElchar.
Thank you very much for having me, man. It was a great conversation, and hopefully we'll be back on again someday soon.
Of course. There we go.